What's going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with a very special video for you guys today, as the 2022 NFL Draft is officially in the books, which means it's time for me to review the Browns' 2022 draft class. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. I'm not trying to waste any time. So the Browns' first pick of the draft was supposed to be pick 44 in the second round. But the Browns traded down from 44 all the way down to pick 68 in the third round. And I know that definitely pissed off some Browns fans because there were some really good players available at 44. But Andrew Berry decided to trade down and I guess acquire picks and stuff for later. I mean, I figured he was going to trade down at some point. But dang, at 44? Like, George Pickens was there. Sky Moore was there. Nakobe Dean was there. But he decided to trade down. And when the Browns, eventually did get back on the clock, at pick 68 in the third round, the Browns selected cornerback Martin Emerson out of Mississippi State. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. A lot of Browns fans did not like this pick at first because we didn't get it. It's like, why are we picking a corner? Like, our cornerback room is loaded already. Why did we pick a corner? Then it all made sense the next day when the Browns traded Troy Hill back to the Rams. So now we got ourselves a corner who's probably going to play on the outside, which means Greg Newsome is most likely going to bounce inside to the slot. So there you go. Most likely we're going to have a duo of Denzel Ward and Emerson on the outside, with Greedy and Greg Newsome playing more in the slot and nickel. So overall, I don't really hate the pick. I get it now, especially after they traded Troy Hill. I mean, it's what they do. They like to, draft for the future at times, and I guess this is one of those occasions. Especially because Greedy, I believe, will not be on the books next year. I believe his contract is up after this year. So, there you go again. Then, 10 picks later, pick 78 in the third round, Browns are back on the clock, and they selected defensive end Alex Wright out of UAB. So again, addressing the depth on this team. That's going to be a common theme with this draft class. Depth. Alex Wright, he's pretty good. Is he going to start? Probably not. Especially if we bring back Clowney. But he'll be good depth, He'll be good to go in when Myles Garrett, and if we bring back Clowney or whatever, need a breather. He'll be good to go in there and wreak havoc. So yeah, again, there you go. Depth pick. Not too bad. And then we wrapped up day 2 of the draft with the 99th pick, third round. Browns selected with the comp pick that they got when the Vikings hired Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. Browns selected wide receiver David Bell out of Purdue, and I'll be honest with you guys, you probably could tell by my reaction when this pick was made. This was without a doubt one of my favorite picks. I was hyped when we made this pick because I like David Bell. I watched him at Purdue. Of course, me being an Ohio State fan, we had to deal with him this past year. And he was very good with Purdue. Now, the thing about him is he's not fast, but the dude has glue hands, and I freaking love it. He's like a Jarvis Light, almost. Yeah. He's like a Jarvis Landry Light, pretty much. And I kind of wish we could bring back Jarvis so David Bell could learn from him. But, hey, we'll see what happens with that. But, yeah, I love the David Bell pick. So you're going to probably have him playing on the outside with Amari Cooper right now, and that would be fun because Cooper will take you deep, whereas David Bell's specialty is more on the inside routes. He's going to carve you up on the inside, like slant routes and stuff. He's going to carve you up there. But, I am very excited to see David Bell wearing the brown and orange. Freaking love that pick. And then, to start day 3, the Browns did what I've wanted them to do all draft long, and that was select Perion Winfrey, defensive tackle, Oklahoma, with the 108th pick in the 4th round. And, I was just waiting for him to get off the board, and the Browns finally struck, and they brought him to Cleveland. And I'm telling you one thing, when I say this dude is a ball of energy, my God, like, that is not a lie at all. Just watch his freaking post-draft conference with the media. My dude brings the juice, man. He's going to be the guy that gets the squad juiced up before games. He just brings that energy, and I freaking love it. I'm actually intrigued to see what his sack dance is going to be, because he's going to get to the quarterback. He and Miles are going to terrorize quarterbacks, man. Oh, my God. I can't freaking wait. Oh, man. He and David Bell are my 2 favorite picks of the draft, without a doubt. And then the Browns are back on the clock, 4th round, 124th pick overall. And the Browns decided to address their special teams as they selected a kicker, Cade York, out of LSU. And he was the guy that hit the go-ahead field goal against Florida in the fog. And I believe that was the game where one of the Florida defensive backs actually yeeted one of the LSU receivers' shoes, which caused a penalty, which led to Cade York hitting that field goal in the fog. So, yeah, if he can hit a field goal in the dense fog at Florida, I'm pretty sure he'd do just fine in the Bermuda Triangle known as the Dog Pound. I'm very excited to see what Cade York can do. That's for sure. And then the Browns were back on the clock in the 5th round. Of course, after they made a trade. I believe this was the pick that I don't think this was the Troy Hill pick that they acquired. Right? Or was it? It might have been. I'm not even sure. But yeah, they did acquire a pick for Troy Hill. And they also made a separate trade down too. But Jerome Ford, running back out of Cincinnati, with the 156th pick in the 5th round, 13th pick in the round itself. Honestly, I didn't get this pick either until you realize that Kareem Hunt, his contract runs up after this year. So, draft for the future again. That's what they do. They love to do that. But yeah, Jerome Ford essentially models his game after Nick Chubb. So, we got ourselves a Jarvis Landry light and possibly a Nick Chubb light. Okay, that'll work. You know, and not to mention, Dearness Johnson has yet to sign his tender, so we'll see what happens with that. But good security. You need that. You need that for sure. Moving on to the 6th round, Browns back on the clock, 202nd overall pick. This was our 3rd to last pick of the draft, and the Browns selected Mike Woods, wide receiver out of Oklahoma. Another good weapon for Deshaun Watson. And then they moved on to the 7th round. They had 2 picks. First one was the 223rd overall pick, and they selected Isaiah Thomas, edge rusher out of Oklahoma. And then they wrapped up the draft with the 246th overall pick in the 7th round, and they selected Dawson Deaton, center out of Texas Tech. So, if you noticed anything with those day 3 picks, they picked 3 Oklahoma Sooners and 1 Texas Tech Red Raider. Now you're probably thinking, okay, what's that got to do with anything? Baker Mayfield. Where did he go to college? First, he went to Texas Tech. Then he went to Oklahoma. Now, Andrew Berry said he didn't even realize what he did. But we know what you did, Andrew. You little sly dog, you. Out here trolling, man. People actually were saying, oh, Andrew Berry's trolling the Boomer Sooners with these picks. Well, I mean, they just happen to go to Oklahoma, but they're really good players. And now we got to deal with the Boomer Sooners again. Thanks a lot, Andrew. Thanks a lot. We thought we were rid of them damn fan base, that fan base. But no. And by the way, I don't really hate the Sooners fans, for the most part, you know, Duke Bothers is my guy. Not ripping on you, Duke, but it's like people on Twitter, they're just pissed at how the Browns front office is treating Baker. Like, they're treating Baker like he's Jesus, you know? I mean, honestly, he was hella mediocre. And, I mean, if, like, we were still bad, I don't think we would have done this with Baker. We would have rode Baker for this final year. But you see, the Browns can't stand in mediocrity. They have a window, and they want to win a Super Bowl during this window. So they saw the opportunity to get better at quarterback, and they did. Can't even hate them for it. Can't even hate them for it. But yeah, the Browns are very busy in this draft. I didn't think they were going to make this many picks, but they did. And then they went out and they signed some undrafted free agents. Guys like safety D'Anthony Bell out of West Florida. They signed Julius Falk, cornerback out of Delta State. Michael Hurley Jr., wide receiver, Miami, the U. They signed another quarterback, Felix Harper out of Alcorn State. They signed Travell Harris, wide receiver, Washington State. Brock Hoffman, offensive lineman, Virginia Tech. Silas Kelly, linebacker out of Coastal Carolina. Sean Jolly, cornerback out of Appalachian State. Glenn Logan, defensive tackle, LSU. Zaire Mitchell-Payton, tight end out of Florida Atlantic. Roderick Perry II, defensive tackle, Illinois. Ben Petrula, offensive lineman of Boston College. Malik Smith, tight end, Fisk University. He's actually the brother of Tyreek Smith, who was drafted as a pass rusher out of Ohio State, of course. And then they drafted Isaiah Weston, wide receiver out of Northern Iowa. Now, out of all of our undrafted free agents, I think the guys that have the best shot to make the team are Isaiah Weston and Travell Harris. Because looking at our receiver core right now, not really that great. Not to mention, just based off the fact that we didn't draft a tight end, I think that tells you all you need to know about what our system is going to be like with Deshaun Watson. We're not going to be focusing as much on tight ends as we did in the past, which means we're most likely not going to see a lot of 2 and 3 tight end sets like we did the past couple of years. We're going to be focusing more on receivers, and I expect to see quite a lot of RPOs with Deshaun Watson because that's what he excels at. You know, he is a threat to run the ball. You know, I mean, Baker, he was good at running the ball, although he did look hella awkward running. But, I mean, Deshaun Watson is one of the best RPO quarterbacks in the NFL. You know, you don't know what he's going to do with it. You know, is he going to hand it off to the running back? Is he going to keep it and run it himself? Or is he going to throw it? He is what they call a triple threat. Because he can do all three effectively. So, we'll see what happens with this draft class. It'll be interesting to see who the first rookie is to sign. If I had to give my prediction, I feel like it's going to be one of the later picks. I could see, like, maybe Deaton being the first one to sign. You know, the center out of Texas Tech. I could see Deaton being the first one to sign. Just because. Or how about one of the boomers? Like, I could see Isaiah Thomas or Perion Winfrey signing first. Or how about David Bell? But we'll see what happens. I mean, it's not really a competition, but we'll see how quickly we get these rookies signed. But yeah, if the Browns make any other roster moves, like signing Jadeveon Clowney or Deshaun Jackson, Will Fuller, someone like that, I'll be sure to make a video and we'll talk about it. But with that being said, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Let me know what you guys think of the Browns draft class. If I had to give it an overall grade, I would give our draft class a grade of probably a B, B+, right around there. I mean, we drafted for depth on most occasions, besides like David Bell and Perion Winfrey, who honestly should start a considerable amount. And we got ourselves a kicker. That's good. But, yeah. I'm going to give our draft class a B+. You know, it's not horrible. Didn't start off that great. But I'll tell you one thing. Andrew Berry ended it nicely. I like what he did. So with that being said, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I'm Crazy Dog 99, and I will see you later on tonight for some more playoff basketball. And it's going to wrap it up. Let's go Browns. I'm out.